In this video, we will use a template to create a report. I've started by opening up the Reports demo project in Genero Studio. From the Tutorial and Samples tab, I clicked on Reports, and it opened up the report.4pw. This project provides a reporting application that we will eventually use to test our report design, and it provides a data schema to use as input for the report creation. To access the templates, I select File, New, and then highlight Report from Templates. We are shown a list of available templates. There are invoices, form lists, group lists, and more. Some templates provide the same look and feel, but with different colors. Your first objective is to find the template you want to use. You click on an icon to see a preview of the report. I'd like to create a list report. I can use my filter to specify that only list templates be shown. For this presentation, let's do the group list with totals in dynamic green. We select the template, we click the OK button, and we are shown the new report from Template Wizard. For this template, the wizard consists of 3 steps. Other templates may have more steps, but they will all follow this basic format. The first step or first wizard page is called the Schema Association. This is where we choose the data schema for our report. The reports project uses an order report data schema, so I'm going to go to my folder navigation and I'm going to locate my orderreport.rdd. Once I've selected the schema location, my next thing is to select the schema route. Most schemas are only going to have a single schema route, but the order report data schema has 2 possible schema routes. These schema routes correspond to the name of the report from which we get the data. Again, most schemas only contain 1 report, but we've selected a schema with 2, and as such, I need to specify which I want to use. I'm going to select Report All Orders. Now, with my schema and my schema route selected, I need to define my repetitions. On the left-hand side, we list the template repetitions. These become the triggers or the red dots in the report structure view. Recall that a trigger in the structure view is where you specify what happens when a change in a data value occurs. Looking at our example here, we see that our template is set up to have 3 groupings: an outer grouping, indicated by the orange in my preview. We have an inner grouping, and we have the on every row. On the right-hand side, we select a repetition from the schema to associate with the template repetition. If we look at the schema repetitions available to us, we can see that our data is being grouped or ordered by user ID, by order ID, by line number, and then on every row. We have 2 groupings in our template, so we need to select which 2 schema repetitions to associate to those groupings. Let's say we wanted this report to group by user and then by order. I can say my outer groups is by user ID, my inner group is by order ID, and then for the rows themselves, they're already associated to the on every row, and that's going to be fine. It means that every row will find itself printed on the list report. Click Next, and we are taken to the Add Fields page in our wizard. On this page, we're going to select the fields that we want to appear in the list section of our report. For this report, we want to list information about items in a specific order. I scroll down to find some item detail. For example, I find an item line number. I can add that to my report. I find an item ID. I can add that to my report. By holding down the Control key, I'm able to select multiple items, and I can add them with using the Move icon to my fields. Be careful not to click the double arrow icon, as that will move all the fields. If we click on these fields, you can see where they're going to fall in my report. I can highlight an item and use my up and down arrows to relocate it within the list. When I'm done specifying what fields are to appear, I'm ready to continue, and I can click Next. My last step is to assign the variables. Variables refer to the placeholders that are on the report. For this report, we're going to provide some static values and specify some dynamic values that change as the data streamed to the report changes. First, to see what a placeholder represents in a report, I can click on that line in the placeholder, and you see the corresponding object is highlighted on the report. I'm going to change the organization name to read 4Js. I'm going to change the title to read Order List Group by User and Order ID. For some of the other placeholders, I want the value to change to reflect the changes in the data streaming to the report. So instead of entering string values, I'm going to let the data populate the placeholders by specifying fields and formulas. Let's start with our outer groups. I can select my outer group key and my outer group description, and I see that's going to help define what the header is. Let's say for these header, I just wanted the user's name. For my outer group key, I can open up the function editor, and then using the expression editor, and by starting with my control spacebar, I can go and specify what it is I want. For the outer group description, I can decide that I don't want anything there. I can just go into my expression editor, leave it blank. Similarly, for the inner group, I need to define what I will have as my inner group key and what my inner group description. So my inner group key, I can decide to have this be the order ID. So in the expression editor, I do my order line dot orders dot order ID. Now I know I'm going to need this to be a string, so I can convert it using a toString function. For the inner group description, let's say that we wanted to have it to be the date as well. This report also includes some totals. And so for those, I know the inner group total is going to be my order total. My outer group total, I want to be my user total. And my grand total, I want it to be my overall total. Those are being shipped over directly with the row. Now I didn't examine each of the placeholders. In the interest of time, I'm going to continue. With all my placeholders defined, I can click Finish, and the report is created. Notice that it's a 4RP file. I want to save it as a valid file name. I'm going to name it Scott List. I'm going to save it in my design folder and click OK. Now in order to run it to see using our application, I'm going to need to go into my report selection screen. I'm going to want to add my Scott List to my list box. I'll move it to the top so we find it easy. I'll save the changes to my form. And then we'll go and we're going to run our order report. I select Scott List, and I select Preview. And here you can see the report created. It takes on the format and the look and feel of the template that we selected. And at this point, it's a report. It's a report design document. There's nothing to indicate that it ever came from a report template. We can't go back into a template wizard to do any modification. If we want to make any additional changes, you're going to do it inside of the 4RP file, just as you would for any report design document.